Okay, so in a computer, you get your videos like this. You go in this little box, and then you go to videos, right? And, here are all your videos. Depending on how you have things set up, mine is set up to just default to VLC Media Player, right? But on a computer, you can right click, right, and then say that, or this, right, and then choose, one of these options to play your video, right? But the videos, this is the computer that the location that they're in. Now, if you were to bring up VLC, you could store all your videos in here on a computer, right? You could have them all preloaded into here. So instead of going into this, finding the video you want to watch, and then tapping on it and have it open VLC, you could just have them all stored in here, right? But it doesn't organize them good on a computer to do it that way, right? So you keep them, or you view them in the folders like this, because it just makes it easier. On a side note, if you see this that says My PC, anything that is connected to your computer, if you tap that, will be listed here. And then you can see how much room you have left on it, right? So these are the hard drives that are attached to my computer. So if you tap this, you can see how much the Kindle has on it. For your Kindle, right, you're loading stuff into the memory card, and as the tech support guy told you, they just automatically get loaded into VLC. And since you're playing them that way, it's easier, to do it that way, and VLC keeps track of them better that way than playing them through the native software of the Kindle, right? The My Videos thing that doesn't organize them good. VLC organizes them better. Now, once they're in VLC, you can put them into folders and stuff. You can take, if they're not already, once you load them onto the Kindle or the memory card. When I say Kindle, I'm talking about the memory card. Once they're all loaded onto there and they get stuck in VLC player, you can go into there and put them into different folders. But I'm pretty sure it's loading them into different folders for you already. For example, on my phone, if I go into the VLC app, I go into VLC, it has stuff already kind of organized into folders, unless it's an individual video, but here's 4 things in one folder: the AA show, 3 Van Halen tracks, they're already in its own folder. These are dash cam videos, so they're listed separately. But anything that's multiple stuff in the same thing, it's gonna put in its own folder. So if I had a bunch of Dr. Jeff vet videos, right, if I had 8 of them, they would all, in VLC, would automatically stick them in one folder, right? It would just say Dr. Jeff. And then when you tapped on it, it would be each individual episode like this.
Here's the thing. Andrew, stuttering John's tongue. Here's the thing. More people wanted to get in.
Oops. So the thing you're getting confused on is you're treating Plex as if it's like VLC, and it isn't. Plex is a media server. It's a much bigger deal than just a player like VLC or Windows Media Player. It's a software server. And like I said, it's giving up that message because it's only free. Plex is the only free thing that Plex has is for you to load your own videos, right? Like I have all this stuff. I have all this stuff on my computer, okay? All this stuff, all this stuff, all this stuff, right? And all that stuff is on my computer. Then I put the Plex server onto my computer, and that allows me to see all that stuff. Now I'm opening up a web page if you're wondering what I'm doing. That allows me to see all the stuff I have on my computer like this, right? Lets me see all the stuff I have on my computer like this, right? And I can go into just my James Bond stuff, and Plex does all this for me, right? Plex loads this artwork, right? Plex loads the description. Plex puts who was in it, that all that's done by Plex. If I was to load this stuff into iTunes, I'd have to manually do that, or if you were to open this movie in VLC Media Player, it wouldn't have any of this, okay? Now, Plex also allows me to watch this stuff on the Roku, right? So that's the free part of Plex, right? Now, if I want to share all my stuff with you, all this stuff, it allows you to share all your media with your friends, and it allows you to watch it on any device, anywhere. So I can watch it on the iPad, I can watch it on the Kindle, I can watch it on my phone, anywhere I go. Of course, it's using data for the phone, but I can watch it because I paid for a lifetime subscription for it. All right, like it also gives me access to this. I have all this stuff, right? All this hypnosis stuff. I can go onto YouTube and save all this stuff into Plex, right? I don't have to download it or anything. I just go into YouTube and click on an icon, and it automatically saves this stuff into Plex for me. And the place it saves it is watch later, right? So, when I first started using Plex, and that thing would come up that says you need to be a Plex Pass member, or you need to pay a one-time fee if you want to play these videos on your device. And I think that one-time fee was like $5, right? So I just paid the one-time fee so I could watch stuff on my phone. Then as time went on, and Plex started adding new features, I eventually got the lifetime pass because there's just too much good stuff that Plex does, like allowing me to share my library with you. If I wasn't a member, I couldn't do that. I couldn't like load movies. I couldn't like download Better Call Saul and have it appear at Mama's house on her Plex in 30 seconds, right? None of those options would be there for me. So it was worth it. And also when I bought the TV tuner, right, I can watch live TV. So I can go into Plex, right? And because there's a TV tuner connected to my computer, I don't have to leave Plex to watch TV, right? Here's TV, right? It's live TV. And not only is it live TV, there's also a DVR. So, you know, I can set it to record Judge Judy every day. And it records it, right? These are the recordings I have. I Survived, People's Court, and Judge Judy. I have it set up to record that stuff every day. And I don't have to do anything. I just push on a thing, it records it. And without me doing anything, it makes this thing for it. It puts the episodes in the right season, right? Titles the episode and gives its description, right? I don't have to do any of that stuff, right? So it was just like, God, I can have all my stuff, right? And not that I use this a lot. It was just a good option, but it's like I can have all my media, and then without saying, okay, I'm done watching Kung Fu, now I have to leave, right? Now I have to X this out, or, you know, if I was on Roku, I would have to leave Roku, switch the input. Let me show you that. I would have to, well, I'm just going to go into Roku to begin with. Make it easier so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm in Plex, right? And, you know, I'm watching Judge Judy, for example. I'm watching Judge Judy. I'm watching Judge Judy. And then I go, okay, I don't want to watch Judge Judy anymore, right? So I get out of Judge Judy. Normally, you'd have to go back, right? You'd have to go back to TV. You'd have to change the input, right? I don't have to leave Roku and go out of Plex. I could stay in Plex. I go, okay, what's on TV? You know, oh, let's watch the news, you know, and just like click on that without having to leave. And, you know, there you go, there's the news, or there's live TV, I should say. So, with the subtitles coming up, you know, so that's one of many options that I just thought were super cool, you know, and worth it. You only have the free version of Plex, you know, which I think is still super cool that I'm able to share my entire library with you, right? I can share all this stuff and you can watch it on home on your Roku, and, you know, it's pretty cool. That's great, really. But as as far as you being able to do all the things I can do, you just have the free tier level. So all you can do is watch your own stuff, which you never do because you don't put the stuff on your laptop. So you can watch your own stuff or any of my stuff when you're on your Roku, right? As far as it being on a Kindle or being on an iPhone or any other kind of thing, like, you can't do that because you just have the free version, right? So any stuff you want to watch that isn't mine, you need to watch, well, you need to watch everything on the Roku. You can't really watch it on devices, otherwise you have to pay for that. It's just a one-time payment if you get the lifetime thing. I don't know that it's worth it for you, you know, as far as I'm concerned. You can just load stuff directly onto your Kindle or your phone and then watch it through VLC Player, right? Even if you could access the stuff on your iPhone or Kindle, you'd be streaming it, you'd be using data. So in other words, if I go into Plex, this is another option you don't have. Okay, so I go into Plex, I go into Kung Fu, I can download this onto my phone. See that arrow right there? I can click on that arrow and it will download that episode onto my phone. It's playing the theme music. That's another thing it does. It plays the theme music of whatever show you're watching. Okay, so, you know, for me, because of the subscription I can have these shows in Plex and then download them from the Plex app to put on my phone and play offline, you know? So it's not using data. I don't ever do that. If I want to watch a show offline, I'll just load it directly onto my phone through, or onto the iPad through VLC Player, right? I would never download this stuff from Plex, only because it takes a long time to do that, because you're putting it on there through Wi-Fi, and if they're real big file sizes, it takes a while. So I would just drag it over to the phone or iPad. But if you had a subscription, you know, you would have access to all my stuff, and you could theoretically download that stuff onto your phone and then not use data, or download it onto the Kindle, and then when you're at work, it's on your device, you're not streaming it. But Plex, you know, none of this stuff is in Plex. All this stuff is on my computer, and it gets streamed to my Roku, your Roku, Mama's Roku, right? But we're not using cellular data, we're using internet data, so it doesn't mean anything that we're streaming it. You know, it's just like streaming Netflix. Does that make sense? Plex is like my own personal Netflix, right? So if you're at home, you're not worried about streaming Netflix, right? Because you're at home. If you're in the truck and you want to watch Netflix, now you're using your cell data, right? So Plex is the same way. Just like in Netflix and Amazon, you can go in there and download individual shows to your phone. So when you're in the truck, you're not using data. Plex works the same way, but you don't have a Plex subscription. They don't allow you to do that. if you're just using their free tier. So that should explain it all to you.